Let's see. So it's 1:02. We don't want to spend too much time. If let's just go around and just go around one by one. What we'll start. Anybody here from is Don Matheny here? May not be. Um, and Gary's trying to get on. So Nancy, not Nancy, but Karen for Southeast 3. You have any comments or things you want to share that what you thought worked and what maybe didn't work for you?
Sorry, I'm just grabbing some lunch here. I mean, I think it worked fine on our end. We had Nikki, and then Fran was our other neighborhood net control. So given our participation, it went fine from our end. I guess the only thing I was kind of curious about is hearing other reports was just some of the inconsistencies and just like use of message numbers and that the different blocks. But I'm sure we'll talk about that. So that was kind of really my only question we have. Um, consistently, we have cross traffic with using our primary channel for our radio team. We hear the WIT. I don't know how, but we do on our channel too. So we always have to switch to our alternate, which then we have less range. So given the topography of Fairmount, it makes it challenging, but we can figure out protocols to deal with that. So
Well, it may be because Southeast 3 is not supposed to be on channel 2 of FRS.
Fairmount is.
You're not supposed to be for, you may have made that decision on your own, but the resource guide has the Southeast 3 district FRS channel. So
Not the district. I'm just talking about Fairmount neighbors, because that's where I am as well.
right,
So within,
right,
yeah, the radio team of Fairmount
right,
neighbors.
right.
Yeah.
So those channels that are on the resource guide that are dedicated for each of the districts, the primary and the alternate,
Yeah.
you should stay away from those because they are the 2 watts. If your neighborhood wants to use one, pick one of the channels 8 through 14, which are half watts. That way you won't be walking over, or somebody else won't be walking over you because they're using their primary channel. So
I
with
guess
the width,
sorry, I'm confused because based on the guide, I'm not talking about the district piece. I'm just talking about the radio team because I was also monitoring that. So within Fairmount, our designated channels that we're supposed to be using, according to the guide, are channel 2 and then channel 16 is our alternate. Is that
let,
changed? Or?
let me check real quick here. Just one moment.
This is Fran. He switched to 16. And we were designated 2 and 16.
It just changes how much our range, I think so.
All right, one moment.
2 and 16 is the Fairmount neighbors, Andy.
Let's see. Oh, you're right. It is. It's channel 2 and channel 16. You are correct, Nancy. I stand corrected.
We switched to 16 very early.
And Southeast 2, where is it? Jefferson, West. I don't even see the width down for Southeast 2. But West Eugene is on channel 2 as well. Okay. All right. Well, you're correct. You are correct, Nancy. It is channel 2 and channel 16. I stand corrected. But anyway, so we'll have to straighten that out with the Whitaker. They may have been on the wrong channel, so we'll have to figure that out. But thank you. We had that problem the very first time we were doing it. It's Don Matheny here. Southeast 1, they just arbitrarily picked 2. And being high up, they were walking all over the other district that was using channel 2. But that's good. All right. Well, thank you, Nancy. Thea, Southwest. You did get to chime in there and got to listen. We got to work with you to see if we get some of your neighborhoods to start a damage assessment team. But you have any comments?
This is Catherine.
No, Thea in the Southwest District. Thea Bell. Maybe she's just listening.
I'm trying to figure out how to unmute, Andy. Sorry. Thank you. I regret that I am new to Southwest District, just moving in and not completely moved and have not developed any radio team over here in Chambers West Side, which is a relatively new neighborhood, or any of the others in the Southwest District. I know there's some hams out here. I just haven't reached out to get them involved. So there was no damage assessment team or any reports today. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to work on this next year when it's all rainy and cold. We'll see what we can do. Thank you, Thea. Is Don, are you here? Don Matheny, Southeast 1? No. How about Gary? Have you made it here yet, Gary? Gary Hale, Southeast 2? No. Okay. Robert, Northwest. Any comments?
Besides me stepping on the wrong frequencies a few times. No, this is the most airtime I've had on the radio, so it was a big learning experience for me. And then we did have a little bit of disconnect on who was going to be participating. So, but all in all, I think communications went well. Maybe a little more consistent on the ICS 213 that we need to discuss.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Catherine, were you at Lane County? Where were you at, Catherine? Hello? Maybe she stepped away.
No, she's here.
Huh?
I see her.
I said,
Catherine?
Catherine, where were you at Lane County?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And I see that Stephen was working the comms, and I looked up and Stephen was supposed to be neighborhood ham for Quail Run over at Harlow neighborhood. So they didn't have a ham. So all those people living in Quail Run, they all died. Because Stephen wasn't there. He was somewhere else.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't think he understood the assignment because he was over there before he came over to the EOC and said that he had them all set up to go. So what is his position over there? Is he district ham?
He is to take the Quail Run traffic using the FRS radio and then pass it on to the Northeast District Net Control using the UHF simplex free. So they were probably trying to get a hold of him.
FRS to whom?
FRS from Quail Run to him. And then he either FRS, either FRS or GMRS. I think they both have GMRS because FRS won't reach him quite, but he has done comm checks using GMRS and it works fine. So he is Quail Run's neighborhood ham to take their traffic and then pass to the district. Yeah. So that's why we do this. This is a learning situation.
Okay. I'll make sure he knows that.
That's okay. All right.
Yeah, when I asked, he said, well, he's trained by CERT, but he doesn't work with them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's okay. We'll get there.
So we'll get it straight.
Yeah. Springfield EOC, how we'll let you chime in. Your comments?
Well, I see a number of our operators here. We had two teams of 3, and we did rotations to try to get people in experience in every position. Let me start with Robert. Robert, do you have any comments that you'd like to add?
Sure. Yeah. So I'd say.
Robert.
Oh, sorry. No problem. I'd say it went fairly well to start. I think it was great. Really good, clear communications from all of the stations that were calling in to EOC. I think we have some things to sort out on the EOC workflow side of things. I think we got a little frantic with taking down messages, and we just kind of, information's coming in from every which direction, and trying to take note of it all and make sure you get the right sources. We kind of dropped the ball there a little bit, but we were all working really hard. I think we got all the messages down. We just kind of lost some of the organization. So I think that's just something we can work out with time. Other than that, I feel like the communications went pretty well. I think it was pretty clear from the calling in stations, and it seems like the the net ran fairly smoothly. I think everyone was doing a great job standing by and working with us. So generally good things, I would say.
Robert was on one of the net controls. Elmer, I think it's the Elmer that was working with us. Do you want to make any comments about the second net control?
I think everything went pretty smooth for us, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, and Elmer has got quite a bit of experience. Uh, I'd like to hear from Alicia real quickly. Alicia, this is all new. This was her first experience with EmComm, and what did you feel? Were there things we need to do better?
Well, we noted some things that would be helpful in discussion, having the priority listed on the form so that we didn't need to write the priority down would be helpful so that we could just put a check mark. There were things like that that we were realizing in real time and trying to pay attention to for future. I don't really have a lot of criticisms. I'm still just absorbing the whole process.
Okay. Finally, let me ask Michael Precor. This was, I think, although you've got quite a bit of experience in things like this, Michael, any comments about the EOC operations?
I think the EOC operations went quite well. I think the only two things, understanding a little bit better on message serialization and understanding what our accounting needs to look like at the end, a little bit better, a little bit more clarity there. And then I think the other piece was at first we could hear the Lane County EOC quite well and very clearly, but towards the end of the exercise, we really could not hear them very well through the weeds. It was very noisy, definitely beyond. I mean, if I had to give the repeater a signal report, I probably would give it a 3-3. So that's pretty much what we were up against.
Just a quick summary, and thank you for all the folks that volunteered to be at EOC and also their hard work. We had one radio that was inserting a DTMF tone at times, which everybody had to work past, and I thank everybody for working through that. It was a real life kind of problem that came up we didn't expect. The other thing I'd say is all of us, and if I had been operating, I would have had the same problem. Uh, getting tactical call signs out, using tactical call signs and not our personal call signs. Getting more practice at that, I think, will help us a lot. And one other thing, I think we will have to try to slow down the net a bit. We have a real approach trying to take care of things and be professional, and sometimes it goes too fast. I noticed the handwriting or the printing got to be somewhat illegible at times, and we need to slow everybody down so that we get things that we can understand once it's printed. So we've got some growing to do, but I thought it was a wonderful first effort, I've got to say.
Okay, thank you, Steve. I wrote down some items that, as I was listening and monitoring, going through, let's see, to answer at least Alicia's question about the priority. The district net controls, they're the ones that set the priority of the message, either emergency, priority, or routine from what comes in. They're the ones that set it. And when we finally get to WinLink for the district net controls and also WinLink for the EOCs and so forth, those documents will have a drop-down window that can be checked, either emergency, priority, or routine. But for now, as they come in, for example, for my end, I have a big Sharpie, and once Northeast, we look at the message and we determine what category it fits in accordance with the in accordance with the chart and the resource manual. We put a big E at the top with a Sharpie, or a big P or a big R on that. So that's how we do now for the priorities for our N. The other item I think, and I also picked up for Some neighborhoods in the Eugene districts are using message identifiers, which were first stated on the subject line. And the subject identifiers was a request from the Eugene Emergency Management that there be some kind of a message identifier so that they could quickly look at and get an idea of the location that the message was coming from. So those neighborhoods that are using message identifiers, that's the first thing that goes on the subject line, followed by the address, and then followed by what is happening at that address. So that's something that each of the neighborhoods are working on. Southeast 3, I do believe I listened, they had theirs there. I also was sending out message identifiers as well on our message from the Northeast. The word of the day I felt was how copy, good copy, and things like that. We were doing a lot of how copies, a lot of good copies. And at first, the net control caught it, and that was from Lee Berg, was sending too fast. What we have practiced in the Northeast when we're receiving messages is when we get to a block, we say the block, and then we say what's in it, and then we pause. And usually the receiver on the other end will either say copy, which says that they got it, or they will ask to resend or something like that. But usually we wait until they say copy, and then we proceed to the next block. And we pause and we wait till we hear a copy, because the more you say good copy, and then you repeat what you just wrote down, that's taking up a lot of airtime. So if you go through and they say what's in the block, and the receiver says copy, then they go to the next block, copy, next block, copy, and so forth. Once you're all done with block 8, that would be the time where the net control can say, I copy all, and then say, I copy as, and read the whole thing back if you want to. But if you copied it all, then you can say you're done and go on. So that's something that we got to work on to take less time, because we were really going back and forth. How copy, good copy. How did you copy? I copy, and I copy this, I copy that. So we were taking a lot of time up for that. So that was a word for the day, was how copy and good copy. On the ICS 213, each of the blocks, their blocks are not field. I know that Robert's first time, so I'll pick on Robert over in Northwest. So he was saying field. Some people say field. What are you talking about? Where is the field? I had no idea where the field's at. Well, on the back of the ICS 213, or you may have one that has the instructions, it says block, not field. So we have to get comfortable with that. Sometimes people say box 2 or box 3. It's not. It says block. We just want to stay consistent. So all the way through, so everybody knows what's going on. You say box, you say what box? No, it says block. So that's on that. Good job, Springfield Net Control. I jumped in there and I wanted to secure early. Very good. You said negative. You said we're going to do a balance of messages received with messages sent. So I threw that in there. I thought Catherine was going to have an unauthorized user jump on there, but she didn't. But maybe it's something later. But yes, so I did that on purpose, and very good job. You said stand by. We're going to do not. You are not secured. That's you're taking control. You said no, negative, do not secure. We're doing a tally here of messages sent and received. So very good. At 11:38, somebody had a hot mic. So it knocked out the comms for net control. They could not do something. I was listening intently and trying to figure out who was having a mic, but they were having a conversation with somebody because I heard my name mentioned. I'll ask Andy about that. So I'm not sure who that was, but anyway, there was a hot mic going on, and hot mics can be a problem. In my prior profession, our mic button was on the floor, and so we pressed with our toe, and sometimes a bag could fall on that mic button on the floor and activate. Either a flight bag or something like that would be rest on that mic button, and you got a hot mic, everybody's listening, and nobody can say anything. So you have to be careful about hot mics on those things. But other than that, this is a dry run. That's why we have this, to find out, okay, what's going on. So on that, I wanted to point those things out. They're very minor. They can all be fixed and everything. So I see Gary's here. Gary's Southeast 2. Comments from Southeast 2 there, Gary?
Oh, it went really well. There was a little confusion. Southeast 2, I should say, fan was throwing in a couple of new people. The people I've talked to on there before did just great. But we had some new people, and they were 99% there. I just had to point out a couple little things. And I think maybe that's something we need to point out, is if you are on the receiving end and you're receiving data that's not quite clear or slightly inaccurate, it's best to correct it right up front and get a confirmation that the sender corrected it, for instance, the date. But yeah, it worked really well. I was really pleased. And the fact that, one time we did have these rigid name message IDs, and fan, they kind of got their own structure with quarter liters and all this kind of stuff, and so they wanted to be flexible on that. And I think that worked fine, just as long as that message ID from their end stays part of the subject line all the way through, then they'll know how to find it if there's a reply.
Okay. All right. Since we're using actually, how many of you use the service cross today? Gary,
I just used the log, but I could have gotten to the service cross. I only sent one message in.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so that worked out good for you guys. With that being, with using the service cross, even from the radio team leader that originates the ICS 213, all those blocks from 2 to 8, they do not change all the way up through the relay to the EOC. So you don't, even though that you are a ham radio operator, your name really is not going to go down on that block 8. We did in the past because we were actually regenerating another 213, but now that we have the service cross, that's not necessary. So blocks 2 through 8 will stay the same all the way to the EOC. And you say, well, how do we know who sent it? It's going to be in the service cross, where it's going to have the person's name, their position, the date, and the time of that who sent that message, and then plus your radio log. You will have it written down when it was sent and time and date as well. So that saves time on sending messages because it's less paperwork that you got to do on that. Yeah, Jerry.
And also don't forget that the message ID also will help the city know where it comes from. And that
Right.
actually would get down to the neighborhood, the district ham, for instance, like Southeast 2, who has their own 4 digits after the end of there, they could then track it back to who it came from.
Right. After the October exercise, I'd like for all the district net controls, we get together with Mike McCormick and Jerry, and we did this once before, and we were talking about the message identifiers. We kind of get together. We need to smooth up a document that shows the message identifiers, so the city has a copy and has an idea of what it means. The city of Eugene's emergency managers, they kind of change quickly and often, kind of like how I change my socks. So they do gotta go through emergency managers. So we have a new one, Althea Johnson. But anyway, so they probably would need to have something written so they could look at to see what it actually means. But anyway, thank you, Jerry. Anybody else have any comments?
I think that Althea, as well as Ken Vogany, were at the
Yes.
Springfield EOC for this.
Yes, they were there. Althea wanted to come over to observe, to see how it is. She's only been in her position, I think, maybe 4 months. She's coming from the Eugene Springfield Fire as a deputy fire marshal. So this is all new territory for her. So she wanted to see how it goes and flows. And Ken is working with her as well. Was Scott able to be there at Springfield? I heard that he wanted to come over and observe as well. So, but anyway, that's okay. But let's see. Anybody I missed? Chuck, I see Chuck Theobald. He's here from Friendly. Glad to have you, Chuck.
Yeah, it was a good exercise for us. I was personally, I was happy with how the ICS 213 forms were being filled out, and the messages were, for the most part, concise. So I think that as a group, we've made progress on that.
Okay, thank you, Chuck. Joanna, how did Whitaker do?
I'm sorry, Andy, will you repeat your question for me?
Yeah, I said, how was things with Whitaker?
I'm sorry, I'm getting feedback here. It went well. I think you got an email from Megan. We had static, and she has asked if we could either, well, do we need to just go to our alternate channel into the future as we have in the last 2 or 3 exercises, or might it be considered to assign us a different frequency? We did all right with the static. She decided today that she was going to go ahead and get an GMRS radio so that it should improve our communication. And I reminded her that she'll need licensing for that, and she understood. So next year, perhaps we'll have less staff and less.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Joanna. Chris, how was things with Sparky? I gave him a GMRS. How did it work? Chris, Ship, you're muted. I can't hear you. There we go.
It was marginal. I could talk to any two, and any two, and I talked, and I didn't get any of his traffic or anything on my end. So something needs to change there. I heard everything from monitoring decimal 7.4 and decimal 8.8. All of that was very clear, but I got nothing from the neighborhood damage assessment.
Okay, so we'll have to work on that, Chris. Maybe we'll do some little training just with us. We'll see what we can do now. All right, thank you, Chris. Michael Pecor or something. I can't see the rest of it, but who was Michael with? N7PEA.
I was at the Springfield EOC.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Michael. Let's see. Lance Miller, was he at the Springfield?
I was at the Lane EOC. I did have a question from Michael. Which frequency was having the noise problems towards the end?
That was the ears repeater, 14674.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So Lance, you were over there with Catherine at the Lane County?
You betcha. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
It went smooth. Just the Aries training has helped a lot. So I think it'd be good to, to continue on with that route of things.
Okay, gotcha. The I was wondering if, well, maybe October 18th with in the exercise plan, I had put down there where Lane County could give some sit reps over the radio about their train wreck that they were dealing with, but maybe in October something could come up about that, because I think in October somebody's going to send a 213 about a train wreck up around Aubrey Lane. So you might be, so Lane County, you might be get ready for that one on that. So who else did Allegra? Hey, good to see you here. Allegra, you got any comments?
I thought it went great. I like Gary said, we had several new people. A big shout out to Scott and 7JI, who came initially to observe and then took aside some of the new people and recruited them into more radio activities. And another shout out to Susan Palmer, and Chuck. We got together ahead of the exercise, and Craig Cherry had done such a fantastic job of preparing the documents for us and writing out an itinerary, an agenda for us. So it was just tremendously helpful. And I like your idea, Andy, of focusing on a small part of the 213. In the past, we've done the 213 and we say this and this and this and this and this. And I think little bits of it have changed and people aren't familiar. So maybe breaking it down into just how do we identify the message? Who identifies the message? Where does that number go? And that it follows it all the way through, and just that piece of it. And then another thing on the subject line, or another thing on that I looked back at your guidance from the 2024 and printed that out. And we handed that out to the participants as well to read about how to fill out the 213. But anyway, those are my comments. It was a great, beautiful day, great exercise, and lots of learning.
All right, thank you, Allegra. Yeah, it's supposed to be nice next month as well. Maybe a little bit colder, but or cooler, I should say. I got somebody at my door. It's my dog. Let's see, Nicole, did you get a chance to talk or say something?
Yeah, I'm in the Suna neighborhood in Southeast District 3, and everything went really smoothly. So no, nothing else to report.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, we already talked. Let's see, and Susan Sanders was with us up at the Northeast District. Did a great job of recording the messages coming in, and so that was good. Who did I miss? Susanna, you have any comments?
Hi, I was doing scribe with Southeast too, and that was a lot of writing. I'm like, completely illegible to anyone except me. So I thought if for real, I would, click right.
Yeah. I got you. Well, we'll work on all those things. When we fill out a 213, it's all block capital letters. So that's something with practice that you can do within your neighborhood and so forth. So that's good. Jim, did we hear from you, Jim? Jim, AI7LH. I can't hear you. You're muted there or something. No, still can't hear you. Let's see. Maybe you got your speaker or something volume turned down or something. We can't hear you. There you go. Use your sign language. There we go. Okay. All right. Any other comments? Okay. Well, I thought for dry run, I thought, yeah, Susan, go ahead. Susanna.
It was a fun challenge listening to two radios at the same time. Writing everything. It was and like carrying them with me to the bathroom or whatever. I could see why you usually would have two people.
Yeah, it does. Today in Northeast, we used headsets, and that cut down on noise. But I had two other radios in the background, GMRS listening, and then I had my handheld HT on the 146880 as a monitor, and I also use it as a side tone for me. I'm used to having side tone when I transmit. So anyway, so that we had that going there as well. So, but yep, it's good. So October 18th, we're going to do the very same thing, probably have the very same messages, or you can make up fresh ones. It doesn't matter. And the messages don't always have to be serious. They can be. They could be. You could have something funny. I think. I'm trying to think who. Somebody from Southeast 2 have one about aliens landing. I think that was last year. You know who was that? Gary?
Joanna got one from Megan that someone had a porta potty fell on its side and there's somebody inside.
Oh, there you go. All right. So yeah, but that's good.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to plug the ICS 213 training on October 2nd.
Yes, we're going to have training. Thank you. October 2nd down at the Fire Training Center, and it's open to everybody, not just certs. It's open up to everybody. So I'll be facilitating that. I'm still figuring out how I want that to go, but it will be ICS filling out the ICS 213 and radio logs. So, and I'm sure FRS radios will be involved as well. So that's from 6 to 8 at the Fire Training Center at 2nd and Chambers.
Andy, can you hear me now?
Hey, there we go, Jim. How you doing?
I found the right switch to throw.
Awesome.
I was at the Lane County EOC, and there have been several comments made about speed of the delivery of the messages being too fast. Got to slow it down, space it out a little bit, because that was the biggest challenge for me. I did recording there of the traffic, and it was a challenge to get it all down and have it legible.
Yes.
I mean, mine is a scribble, and Catherine will let me know how much she can read of it once she reviews all the documentation.
Right.
In my opinion, it's about half garbage, but she'll tell me. That's all we got.
Well, thanks, Jim. And thinking forward to next year, I'll get with Jerry and whoever will be the EOC, whether it's going to be Eugene or whatever. We want to set up a WIN link to go from the EOC and send it to Lane County to kind of simulate message needs to the state OEM. And so we would send it to for needs for the city. It would go through Lane County and then on up to OEM up at the state. So we want to simulate that leg of it by having whoever is the EOC next year to have a WinLink standalone station, not be able to switch from voice to another separate station, and send WinLink take the messages from the EOC and take those and then data entry and send them WinLink to a standalone station at the Lane County, just for doing a practice simulation. So that's what we'll kind of look at for next year. So that means that the EOC will have to have more folks that will be dedicated to the WinLink side and also the voice side. So, any other questions?
I just have one quick comment.
Who's it? Hey,
this is
Joe.
Hey, TK7 QFX on River Road.
Hey, Joe.
Had a really hard time getting myself heard I think just of where I am on the river, tried to communicate with Matt, KJ7, CNL. Had to bike really far on the bike path to reach him on FRS, and I can hear everybody on my handheld QZ1 that I have, but getting myself heard anywhere in River Road area seems to be pretty challenging. I could hear all of you guys, but I didn't. I think Andy, you were the only person I got a radio check from.
Yeah, Joe, you're not supposed to talk to Matt using FRS. You're supposed to be on the Northwest dedicated UHF simplex.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make contact with him on the simplex. I think there's just too many trees in the way, it seems.
Really? Okay. That's something that we could look at in the future with Robert and Matt and Jerry and yourself.
Yeah.
And do a test if need be.
I'm still so new and kind of unfamiliar. I'm like still questioning whether I have my radio programmed right or whether it's just too much interference.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, all right. We'll work on that, Joe.
Great.
We'll work on that and try to figure that out. Okay,
I
Elise.
have a question.
Sure.
I just wanted to get a verification on that ICS 213 and radio log training that you're doing. Is that October 2nd?
Let me get to my calendar, make sure that
I believe that's correct.
It's let's see. Yes, October 2nd. Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah, that's open to everybody, radio team leaders with damage assessment teams and so forth. Yes.
Thank you.
It's you don't have to be a cert. It's open up for everybody. Any other questions? Awesome. I got 1344 on my computer, so that's good. We're done about 45 minutes. Thank you, Jerry, for hosting. And Jerry will host again next month for this. And so everybody enjoy your day. And it's Tennessee 21, Georgia 14 so far. So on the football. So, all right. But anyway, have a great day. Enjoy yourself. And we will meet on the air next month. Thanks, folks.
Stop recording.